Okay. And can you see me okay?
I can see you great.
Perfect. All right. So just to start off with, I usually just write down the notes that I'm getting. So that way, if you want to see them again, or else if nothing resonates right now and then it possibly does later, then we kind of go back to the notes.
Okay.
So you did mention that you wanted to speak with your husband. So I'm going to go ahead and try to attempt to pull up the email because my whole computer is not wanting to work right now.
Okay, no problem.
Let's see. So Miss Lori, whenever I was trying to channel him earlier, his name is Jesus, right? But you guys called him Chava or Salvador?
Yeah, nobody called him Jesus. That was just his birth name.
I was trying to do it earlier, and he has this expression on him like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And he kept on saying that because he sees me, I guess he really loves kids because he kept on seeing me more as like a younger child, and he's like, "You're
Yes.
cute. You're like I just want to squish your cheek."
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
"Stop." But
Oh, that
he's
means
so
he's
sweet.
happy.
Yeah,
Aw.
he's super, super sweet, super happy. He was giving me today though that you were having more of like and I know you mentioned anxiety or like kind of like anticipation of it, but today he was giving me more of the fact of like, it was weighing heavy on you, and it has been weighing heavy on you for quite some time.
It
Um,
has.
is his passing really super new? Because he doesn't feel
March.
like March, okay. Because honestly, I was gonna ask within a year. And so since it's really March, it's not even a year yet. He is
Yeah,
so strong with his energy for being only passed in March. That means that he
really.
really, really wants to make sure his message is being given.
Oh,
And
good.
also the fact that you were so willing to give his name and his picture makes it that much more clear. Because now he's starting to talk about like boys, young boys. And I don't even know if this makes sense, but like he gives me like, those baby kangaroos where they're called like joeys or something. Automatically he starts talking about that.
My son's name is Joey.
Really? Okay. And then there's one other, but he says, wait, 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 don't do it. Don't tell her yet. Just, I'll give it to her. He goes like that. He goes, this is like blowing my mind. That's what he says. And he goes, I would have never touched this. He goes, I really wouldn't have. I would have
Me
been
neither.
crazy. And he's
Me.
like, he goes, I wasn't super religious, but I was raised in a very cultural religious background. And he goes, so for you to even think to do this, he goes, you're smart. He goes, you're smart. And he shows me this beautiful rose. And he goes, just think about it, okay? Because Tony, he says Tony. He goes, Tony.
That's my other son. Wait, that's my other son.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Shut up. My boys are Joey and Tony.
And I don't have nothing there. So that goes to show you that he is just like, I'm ready, Mom. I'm ready. Let's do this. And so he's just talking over and over and over about how the fact of like he's so proud of every one of you. So is he the father of them, or is he there because he loves them, but there's no like blood connection going on right there.
None.
No.
None.
God, he loves them as if that they're his own boys. Like he's so protective of them. And that makes sense as to why he wants to bring them up quickly, because without there being that blood connection, he has to have that respect factor of asking you first, can I still protect them in spirit? And so he's always going to make sure that your guys is better good is really, really taken care of. Did somebody graduate in the time that he knew them, or yes? Okay, because there's so much going on for them. They're barely living lives. So I'm going to write that down.
Graduated college.
Really? Joey and Tony. And would that be Tony who just graduated?
Joey just graduated college.
Okay.
Tony just finished up at his junior college and is going to start his at the university.
Okay, so Tony is the one that just did where he completed something while Chava has been passed. And then Joey, who's completed something where he was still here.
Joey just graduated from university, and Tony just completed junior college. So since he's been gone, they've both completed colleges, and he missed out.
I just want you to know that I haven't missed out on nothing. That's why he brought it up. So that's why I was trying to figure out, okay, well, if you were here for it, then what are you talking about? But he's like, no, just give it to her. Just do it. And so he's just talking about that. And he keeps on, I know this is kind of weird, but he keeps on bringing me to like a market where we're walking around getting food, kind of like getting like little knickknacks and purchases. And it's like a swap market or a swap meet of some sort.
A Mercado.
Oh, what was it called?
It's like in Mexico, they're called mercados. They're like little outdoor markets.
Oh, okay. We actually have that here because in San Antonio, we have what's called the it's like a flea market or Trader's Village or something like that, and it kind of reminds me of that because he's talking about like the raspas, the where it has like the cone and the shaved ice and then the pump of the fruit juice in it. So he was
Uh-huh.
giving me that just so that way I could link it because the way that spirituality works is they will give me anything that I've ever personally experienced only so that way I can kind of link it and kind of get an understanding. So he's just talking about the fact that he really loves those things. If you ever go to a market or anything, he's very high vibration because he loves them.
Uh, we went to the market in Mexico, to buy food and stuff. But I don't remember him ever having one of those with me. But he could have without me.
He
I mean,
he says
he
no,
liked
no,
ice
no.
cream.
There was so much that he wanted to experience with you. So were you guys new in your relationship?
No, we've known each other since we're kids.
Gotcha.
It's a long story. He was in prison, but we knew each other since we were
So
kids.
you guys, like he says,
So
it's
we were
not
supposed to
other
get
two.
married. We were supposed to get married in Mexico. We've already been married here, but we were going to get married again in Mexico in front of all of our family. But
That makes sense because he was giving me the fact of like, okay, he was giving me this very passionate, deep love, but like everything felt like it was brand new. Like he was barely getting to live life with you. Like he was barely
yes,
getting to experience things with
yes,
you. And he
yes.
goes, that's the red rose. Like, I want to give her so many more of those. I want her to have the red rose, the yellow roses. I want her to know that I'm showing her a white tulip. And if you don't know what a white tulip is in spirituality, that means the purest form of love that they can actually even show you.
Aw,
And so he goes, and I wish that the words were different. Like, I wish there were more. Like, he's very romantic with the way that he gives it. And he goes, I
yeah.
wish that there was so much more. So, honestly, while I'm trying to channel him, and I don't know if this is going to resonate, but I'm actually getting very like fluidy type ones, where I'm like trying to clear a lot. And so I don't know if it's just the fact that he had like a natural smoker's cough or some kind of raspy or something. Yes.
Very raspy voice. He had a super, super raspy voice.
And it doesn't help that he's soft spoken either, because he can be a little bit soft spoken. He'll come in and he'll be like, okay, talk about Joey. And I'm like, why are you whispering? He goes, I don't know.
Yeah, because here on Earth, he screamed a lot. He was
He
loud.
goes, if you were
Everybody
to ask her that, and if you tell her I'm quiet, she's gonna be like, bullshit. We should end this now because that's not me.
exactly. That's not him.
Excuse my language, by the way. I don't know if he goes, stop. She. Have you met me? I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, sir. And I called him sir earlier, and he goes like this. He goes, wow. So I was raised right next to right in El Paso, right next to Juarez. So there's a lot of things that like I grew up with, such as like the grandmothers being very stern and the moms being very like specific things happening. And so would it make sense that either this is a grandmother or a mom that's going to be on his left, like a maternal grandmother or a mom?
His grandmother has passed, and she
Okay.
raised him.
Because she's sitting there scolding him and telling him, and then she starts speaking in Spanish about something, trying to tell him that he's dumb and he should have followed something and all that. So, but she's just
Yeah, his grandmother raised him, and yeah, I think they're buried together. They're buried in the same tomb, I
oh,
believe.
wow. So that's why I couldn't tell the difference between mom or grandmother. But she did feel grandmother's because of the fact that she's the one who raised him.
Yeah.
Okay, so grandmother raised him. What is her name? She's very beautiful.
You know what? I don't know.
No? Okay, I'm still
I
going to write
don't know.
down the rows because I'm kind of curious.
I'll ask what grandmother's name. I'll ask his friend what his grandma's name is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
And
know. And
haven't
him and his mom don't have. His mom is still living. Then they didn't have a great relationship, but his mother left him in Mexico, and the grandmother raised him.
Gotcha. Okay, so then that makes a lot of sense then why, because I will tell you the feelings that I was getting. So whenever I was asking about like the grandmother, I knew I had to say grandmother first because that felt important. And the way she comes off is very maternal grandmother with the links that she's got. But then I was like, but you're very nurturing to him and you're very lecturing. So I was like, maybe this is a mom. But as soon as I spit out mom, I felt a whole just different energy with Chava. And he just goes like this, he just like shuts down. you know.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to talk about it, and because he's very much of a private person where he'll only talk to the people about private things whenever they're close to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Private. I don't know if this is just something that he really wanted to do with you or something that you guys experienced, but he's talking about like an orchard of some sort, or like this is going to be, what are they called, where there's a bunch of trees?
His family owns mango fields.
Mango fields. Okay, gotcha. So he always wanted to take you to go and see those. Did you guys do that?
One time we got to go see it together.
You know what? I'm a huge mango. You ask my mom and she will tell you the main thing that I love is mangoes. That's it. That's all I eat for fruit.
Yeah.
And so
His family has mango farms, and he kind of thought he would inherit them, but when his dad died when he wasn't there, so he didn't inherit anything. So he was hurt that he didn't get to.
that makes sense
It
because
makes me cry thinking about it, because he loved the mango fields, but he didn't get any of them.
that makes so much sense. I would have never put two and two together until I started giving you what I was feeling, because the way that he was giving me is he was giving me more of the fact of like an orchard, okay? And then he would give me a tree kind of bent over, like a sad tree. And there's a little fruit on it, but I couldn't tell what the fruit was.
Mangoes are little.
Yeah, and so because the tree is bent over, it shows that it was sad because he didn't inherit it. So wow, he's doing really good. I'm very proud of him.
I'm so proud of him, because I talk to him every day and I'm like, please just come to me. Just give me a sign.
Honestly, he says he will always come to you because he found you. Not only was your heart the most pure and beautiful, but it was forgiving too. And he says that literally I didn't have that growing up besides my grandma. My grandma, shoot, or yeah, he doesn't even call her grandma. I don't know what he calls her. It's a different term.
Maybe abuela. Maybe
Yeah,
abuela.
abuela. That would be something different. But he goes, even with her, like she loved me to death. But if I made a mistake, it's with my love though. And he calls you my love. He goes, with my love. Yep.
He did call me that. He called me my love, or mama. That's what he called me.
See,
My
that's
love.
what I called you in the beginning was mama.
Oh
Remember?
You're gonna make me cry, Teresa.
I'm
You're
sorry.
making me cry. It's a good thing because I haven't felt him. I've just been mourning him this whole time.
Yep. And honestly,
one night I felt him. One night I felt him come to me and say, "I'm sorry, my girl." And I heard him say that.
Yep, he did, 100%. And the reason why is because he wasn't apologizing because he was gone. He was saying, "I'm sorry, my girl, because over the next couple of days, you're going to be so desperate for my emotion and so wanting my touch and my embrace, you're not going to see me." And he goes, "I have not skipped a beat. I would never leave you in real life. I will never leave you in spirit." And literally, and he's asking me, it's going to be kind of long. So please don't feel rushed off as soon as the 30 minutes hits. If you have to be somewhere, let me know. But literally, this is what he wants me to let you know. Whenever they pass away, they do not just go somewhere else. What happens is they become specks of energy within the surface of where we're at right now. That energy, if you think about it scientifically, energy will be sourcing wherever there's activity. So that way it can become back more into more of a higher electron. So it's going to source back into wherever it feels welcomed and loved and wanted. And so they go back into what's called a vortex, but also called the aura. And the aura is something that stays around our body, and it can present to me past life, physical life, or life path channeling. And that's how I'm able to pull them forward whenever I'm looking directly for somebody's source. And so he's right there. He goes, "Tell her like a little parrot." He goes, "Tell her like a little parrot. She should get one." And so he
had a parrot.
You're so good. So
He had a parrot for just a really, really short time.
Yes. And he said, honestly, she should definitely consider having something physical so that way I can show her that synchronicity of me coming up all the time. He goes, I show you a lot of time dragonflies. I'll show you a lot of the times of the sunset where you just feel that I'm talking to you through the sky. He goes, I'm not those things, but I will give you the synchronatic energy of that, letting you know that I'm there. He goes also with the numerology of 2. And then he also keeps on bringing up more of like, I don't know if this is just because it was March, but like March 3rd to like March something.
He died on March 19th.
March 19th?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say March 3rd to March 15th. That's still a day early.
March 16th. he got in his accident. Well, hold on, let me think. March 19th, he died. He got in his accident on March 16th, and I couldn't get to Mexico until the 18th, and then he died on the 19th.
Oh, okay, because he was giving me 3 and March 15th. And if you add the 15 to the 3, that's the 18th. He says that that's what counted. So
Yeah,
that
I
makes sense to
made it
me.
before he died on I was there, but yeah, I don't know. It's a lot.
He says that honestly, that's why he didn't just want to go in talking about the way he passed. He wanted to go in with giving you that evidential knowing, because the fact of the matter is with me, I'm too kind and too caring that I don't want to make somebody cry to relive the fact of how they passed. And so that's a barrier that I'm trying to get over as a psychic medium, because that's something that's very important to people. But I would rather give you the evidential of knowing, okay, Joey and Tony, or the mango tree or something, because it makes you smile. And so
Yeah.
going in and saying that I knew for sure how he passed, I didn't know how for sure he passed. I do know that you mentioned an accident, and like him, he's not pushy with you. If you don't want to talk about it, he'd rather talk about something different. So that's
I
why
want to talk about whatever he wants to talk about, whatever.
he wants to say specifically, "You are my wife. You are my wife." He goes through and through that you are my wife. He goes, it doesn't matter if it was fancy, if it was small. He goes, you know me. If it was small, it's more personal. It's more sentimental. He goes, I had the wedding I wanted because I married the woman that I wanted.
No.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love him so much.
Yeah.
So you are my wife. He does want to let you know, though, very sincerely, he did bring you to me because of the fact that he likes that I don't rush. He likes the fact that I actually become a friend instead of being like, okay, well, here's business, you know? And I do run a Discord where you don't have to subscribe just to be on the Discord. Literally, whenever you're grieving and you just need somebody or you need to share the fact of Chava and talk about him, everybody in there just loves everybody. It's a zero tolerance for drama. We're all adults. We all live lives. And he's saying that you need stuff like that. You need somewhere where, you know, if you need to be sad, you can be sad and it's not going to reflect with your real life. And he
I'm
says
sad
that I
all
want
the
that.
time. I'm sad all the time since he's
Yep.
gone.
And he says, I'm trying to bring a little bit of joy to you, because he says that, okay, that's creepy, Chava. He says that I've been kind of hanging around with Teresa for a little bit. So have you been watching me on live for a little bit? Oh,
Girl, I said, you know what I always say about you? Doesn't she ever sleep? Every time I go on TikTok, you're always on.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, this girl needs to sleep.
Because he goes, I've been watching you for a long time and I've been giving her the confidence to do it. So I'm like, okay, that's creepy. I got chills because it was so funny. Okay, so
That's funny.
watching. Okay, Mr. Creeper. He just started laughing. He turns super red and then he starts having that smoker's cough as he's laughing.
That's funny.
Watching you for a long time. And he goes, honestly, the reason why he brought you to me is because of the fact that you and I have a similar heart, where with yours is kind of more the fact that it's kind of shut down because every time that you go to attempt something or trust somebody, it's more of like, I don't know if I'm going to get the clarity that I'm seeking, or I don't know if I'm going to just get kind of like a brush off. And he's not just talking about mediumship either. He's talking about like in general and a lot of things. And he goes, she has to be so tough and so protecting herself because that's always been who she was. And I wanted to be the one that protect her. I wanted to be the one to show her something different and take care of her and take her to different things and have her live a whole nother life than what she was. And he goes, and I didn't get to do that. And he goes, I wish that I had something to give you. His biggest regret is that he didn't have money, or he didn't have the funds to just like support you and have you going for the rest of your life. And he goes, that's something that I wished I inherited so I could give it to you so you could be living good. And he says that he talked a lot about the times about plans and going places and traveling. And I'm not going to joke with you. He keeps on bringing up a winery of some sort, like where he wants to. And you know how wineries are very luxurious and they're romantic and stuff. That's the only way I can make sense of that, because it doesn't show any physical to him.
I mean, we wanted to go to Italy together.
I should have just freaking said it. I should have just said it. So I was going
because I'm Italian.
I was originally going to say, I mean, I didn't know wait, you're Italian?
I'm Italian. He's Mexican.
So I was literally going to say he wanted to take you to Italy, but I'm like, that's not going to make sense to her. So why don't we just
Yeah.
bring it back to the grapes and because I thought he was talking about romanticism with wine.
No, neither one of us drank wine. It's Italy.
So,
We
so
talked about it.
he literally goes, teach you to second guess me, ma'am. So his Italy was true then, because ever since I saw his picture with him, I'm not talking about how I saw Italian with him. With you, he keeps on showing me like this tough girl with Italian on it, and he goes like literally, if you think of the one girl that's always all over the place, she has a shoulder up like this.
Oh,
And
the Riveter. I have that on my I have that somewhere, and I put Italian girl on it.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to find the picture. I'm definitely gonna go email you the Discord link because I want to show you the picture I'm actually talking about. And
I know which one you're talking about. It's Rosie the Riveter, and she's going like that. It's from the 40s, but
yeah,
I put on it. I found a picture on the internet, and I put Italian girl on the arm. And
shut
he,
up. That is
yeah,
so
no.
cool. I love that.
And he knows. He knows. He
Oh,
knows
so
that.
we saw it.
I don't know if I've showed it to him before he passed away. I don't know, but he used to always say, "Oh, you stubborn Italian girl," or you, what do we used to say to
Oh
each
my
other?
gosh.
And I used to say, "Oh, you something Mexican." I forget what we used to say to each other. Oh my God.
I love that.
Oh yeah, he used to call me "you crazy Italian," and I used to say "you crazy Mexican."
He goes, okay, so who is the cook?
Who's the cook?
He goes, nobody. None of us cooks. He goes,
No.
if we had an opportunity to eat out, we were eating out.
Yeah, I'm not a good cook. I'm not a good cooker.
Because of the fact that, like, he said, since he's been watching me for the past couple days, he sees mine and Jeremy's patterns, and he goes, like, you guys are just like us.
That's funny. Just an older version.
Yes, very much so. Let's see. So he also keeps talking about, so I don't know if this is like honeybee or bumblebee. Does he have a niece of something? Like a niece?
A niece?
Yes. There's like a little girl he keeps on bringing up. It's definitely not a daughter or anything like that.
I mean, he has nieces, but they're not little. We have nephews or godchildren that are little, but
Is there by chance where he saw her last whenever she was a child?
no, no, no.
No.
He does have nieces, but on in Mexico.
Gotcha. Okay, so that would probably be something that he's just trickling in, like with a message for her, but that wouldn't make sense. Because there's something important about this little girl, so I'm just gonna write it down. So little girl. Okay, so I wrote that down. But do you have any questions that you want to ask him? Anything that you would like to say for me to mediate?
I mean, I want to know if he hears me talking to him.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And there's a few things too that he wants me to clarify. So you never have to pay a medium ever to know that they're with you or that they can hear you or that they love you or if that they're at peace, because of the fact of the matter that as soon as they pass away, what's the one most common thing that everybody that has a near life death experience says that they see?
Heaven.
It's going to be the bright light. They always see a light, and that's going to be the source of energy that they go to whenever they come out and face back. And the one thing that's always different is going to be what they're actually seeing, their interpretation of heaven, and that's going to be their Eden in which they've made. So as soon as they pass, they get to make their own peace. They get to make what they want to see. And so definitely they're able to hear you. They're able to give you feelings such as like cold breezes, or such as in your case where you can hear them, or whenever you can actually visually see them whenever you're sleeping. There's multiple ways of them communicating and connecting with you. And he does also say too that the one thing that guts him so bad is whenever you're crying and you're talking to him and you can't really grasp your breath enough to really get the sentence through, and he goes, you don't got to finish your sentence, I know what you're going to say. And he goes, I love you, I wish that I could just wrap my arms around you and that I could actually tell you it's going to be okay. And he goes, I want her to know very much though that There was no type of suffering. There was no type of anything. And I don't know if this was quick or how it really happened.
Well, do you want me to tell you how it happened?
No, because I'd love to channel it and get it, but then yes, because I know that I'm going to be too shy around it, or I'll try to beat around the bush.
I will tell you if you want to know.
That's fine. You can share it.
He was hit by a car and a motorcycle. And I want to know if he heard me and saw me at the hospital when he was in a coma, because I didn't get to say goodbye to him. He was alive when I got to the hospital, but the last text I have with him, he said, "I love you, I'll talk to you later." And then the next text was from his friend saying that he was in a motorcycle accident.
He said that, listen to the context clues he was giving me. He says the reason why he was giving the 18th is that the first day that you actually had gotten to him. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were there at the hospital with him the 18th, correct?
Yes.
So he's the one that gave that 18 with that 3 and that 15, and then you said it was going to be the 18th. So absolutely, he is going to know for a fact that you were there. And then if we circle it back a little bit, no, I wasn't grasping on the fact of it being an accident or anything like that, or it being the motorcycle, but he was giving me more of the fact that it was quick. He was wanting to say that it was quick. There was no suffering. He said, literally, as soon as I went down, my grandma got me, and I did not feel any, I didn't even know it came. I didn't even know that I felt any pain. I didn't even know that anything was going on. He goes, literally, whenever they already had me, I was already passed. And he says that I want you to know that, yes, I did hear everything. And I did hear where you're asking how this is too soon, or we just barely even got it. There's something where you're just barely even getting a grasp of something. And you're telling him that. And he goes, I agree with you 100%, my love. 100%, my love. And he's saying specifically that if there was anything he could do different, is the fact that, like, he wouldn't have left the house that day. And he said he had a feeling, he had a gut feeling that he shouldn't have left that house that day, because he felt like he was going to either Zoom you or FaceTime you or something like that a little bit later. And he was saying that he was just going to go out and get something and come right back. But it's very important to him to let you know that he didn't feel pain, that he does recognize that you were there on the 18th. But he goes, even so, even if you weren't with me whenever I was passing, whenever somebody isn't with somebody whenever they're passing, they'll source back to wherever that person that's thinking about them actively, that's trying to get to them.
Yeah, I was trying for 2 days. He got in his accident on the 17th, and I was trying to get there on the 17th, but it's hard to get from here to Mexico in a day. So I had to wait for the thing. And I swore that when he heard my voice, he twitched a little bit, because I said, "Oh, he's brain dead." And I swore that he twitched when he heard me, but it could have just been my imagination. I don't know.
No,
but
like he said, he did have a twitch. He did have a reflex, because he was trying to figure out how to go back to his ego. He was trying to figure out a way to go back to at least give you like some kind of caress or some type of closure. Because he even said he doesn't like leaving things undone. He never has. He always wants a resolution before it goes too far. And he goes, but the thing is I couldn't. And there's no way that I could, because I can't attach myself to a physical human body. I can just bring the ego, and the ego is going to tell you, hey, bring that back to her, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Are we going to see each other again?
Oh, without a doubt. He goes, our love is so pure. You know what? True love really never dies. It doesn't. It really sincerely doesn't. You guys get cycled back into energy over and over and over and over again, because of the fact that you guys find such purity in each other. Now, if it was toxic and like definitely one wanted to be away from the other and you guys broke up and stuff like that, like completely never wanted to see each other ever again, then that would be different. But if you guys genuinely really had love, even if you had an on and off kind of thing, or even if you brought it back, something like that, you guys definitely would.
Okay. That's what I need to know.
Absolutely. And he says that he's so grateful that he still has you here, even though you may not feel it, because he still gets to live life through you. He gets to see your daily life. He still gets to feel the fact that he still has normalcy. And he goes, yeah, I can make normalcy in my Eden, but I don't want to be there without you. And he goes, I'm waiting for you to be able to be at Eden, and I can make Eden any given time that I want to. He goes, but my peace is protecting my love and my kids. And he calls your sons his kids.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, they were older whenever I finally got to really start having a relationship with them, but they're such loving children. They're protective of their mom. I won't sugarcoat that.
Yeah,
But
this
at the
is
same
true.
time, he says that no, he will forever and for always be your protection.
It's good to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Good to know.
So I did send you the Discord. It's gonna be like a broken record until I get you on that Discord, just letting you know.
So that's something I can sign up through. You send it through my email?
Yes, I just sent a link to your email. All you do is you click that link, you make a sign up, and then it's going to put you directly into the Discord. It is a little overwhelming. It's okay. You can just reach out to me and let me know, hey, Teresa, this is a lot. And then I'm going to send you a YouTube link so you can watch it or something. But there's
Okay.
so many loving people on there, but it's because he doesn't want you alone. He doesn't want you to ever feel like you don't have somebody. And going forward, if you just need like, hey, T, finances are tight, but I really need to hear from him. Boom, we just talk normal, like normal people, normal friends. And that's why I have that Discord, is because when somebody purchases from me, it's not a one and done type thing. I know this is your people. These are people you loved. And so that's why I separate it from just staying like a 9 to 5. And I do it more of the fact that this is family. This is our loves. So
Yeah.
that opens that window for that.
Okay. That's great.
I'm so excited that I met you. Like literally I could sit here and talk to you all day long.
Oh, thank you. No, I've been looking forward to meeting you. I've been, like I said, I'm like, this girl never sleeps. She's like, every time I go on there, you're on there. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I kind of had to pull it back some, and because I was getting pretty much of a good influx of private sessions, but then it slowed down, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do privates Monday through Thursday and go live on
I
Friday.
just saw you announce that. I just saw you announce. Just saw you on TikTok.
Yeah,
Good for you. Good for you.
thank you. But
That's good.
without a doubt. And then this here, did you want this uploaded to YouTube, or do you want it to just kind of stay like this in the file?
I'd like it to stay private.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah,
Is that
of
okay?
course.
So will you